guys believe that it's been close to 2 weeks since the last time we talked about the almighty, the empathetic, the legendary Mr. Idubbbz? I low-key think this is the longest I've gone without talking about the Jamhas in a minute now. But I mean, what a way to come back to everything. So today, a few hours ago, Idubbbz was on a podcast with these two fine gentlemen. And in said interview, they talked about a lot of things. But one thing that caught my interest is this. Idubbbz implies that Moist Critical is part of the alt-right pipeline because he, and I quote guys, Charlie fans will crucify me, because he quote unquote holds space for people who have different opinions. Now, so many things that I want to say without even watching the clip. I mean, just based off the title, the headline, I'm scratching my head. I don't want to get ahead of myself. So if you end up enjoying this video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. I will really appreciate it. There's so many things to talk about, not only the Charlie call out. Let's just get right into it.
The thing that kind of first stands out to me is that I never perceived 2016 Idubbbz to be ideologically like right-wing or ideologically hateful in the way that those other two are. Like,
it's part of the pipeline, though. It's the same reason people wouldn't say Charlie, Moist Critical, is right-wing or like as ideologically fuck out there as like a Nick Fuentes or even Asmongold, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
He holds some space for the people in his audience who might have some differing opinions. He doesn't make it clear, like, I don't want you in my fucking community, like, outright. Yeah. And, you know, I get it. I get the hustle. I did it for a while. But it is a little bit of cope. And I understand why people don't want to take the path that I took, because it breeds a lot of hate.
Yeah, right. The thing that kind of
I mean, not only hate, just complete irrelevancy and no money. No one wants to go down that route. I'd rather grift and become a Nick Fuentes and all these other guys, and Andrew Tate, you know, join them before I turn into the almighty iCucks. All right, I much rather switch sides and grift. I'm not saying that I'm doing it. Well, not yet. I much rather switch teams than to go down the Idubbbz route. Now, I hate this argument that ex-YouTuber, this guy is a pipeline into the alt-right. This guy classifies as an alt-right pipeline person because they're not there yet. They're not Andrew Tate level yet. They're not Nick Fuentes level yet. But they're like in the middle, and if they watch that person, then they jump into others. Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it yet again. If you're a grown-ass man and you fall into either the alt-right pipeline or the left pipeline, as a grown man, you are a loser that is controlled by the internet, all right? You're legitimately an NPC. I've seen so many people on Reddit be like, yeah, man, I fell into the alt-right pipeline, and I'm so glad I escaped it. Thank you so much for showing us that you have no self-control. Thank you so much for showing us how weak you are. And the reason why this is so funny is because in the past, and by the past I mean Jesus, like 2-3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, there was YouTubers who were saying that Oscar Sense, Mr. Society with the 3, that I was part of these content creators who are not leftists or, you know, right wingers, but we're like right in the middle, and we're a jumping point. So they go from, I don't know, WestJet, Diesel Patches, Pegasus, a Cheeto, Sense. They go from that, and then the next step is to love Andrew Tate and all of those other losers. And it's like, well, I completely disagree. I mean, I literally made a video calling out and criticizing Andrew Tate a few weeks ago, and that's not the first time I've done that. There's so many videos of mine where I'm critical of Sneeko and people on the right, and the same thing applies to freaks and losers of the left. Like just think about this for a second. Do you think, and I've also said this for so many years, I don't have an agenda. I'm just a random dude online that got lucky, that has a microphone, and there's people out there that want to listen, and I am forever grateful. If it all ended tonight and I drop this video and it gets 5 views, I think I had a pretty decent run. Forever grateful. I don't know how much time I have left on here. I don't know if this is my last video or next week I'm done and no one cares anymore. And if that's the case, you know, I'll take my bow and I'll be like, I got a lot out of this fun YouTube thing. But but I don't think, and I wouldn't even consider myself part of the alt-right pipeline because you're edgy, because you say retard. Once again, it's Twitter talk, it's Blue Sky talk, it's Tumblr talk. I know that I got a little distracted, but going back to the Charlie stuff, he has been extremely critical, no pun intended, of the current administration that's running the US right now. He's been extremely critical of Trump. He's been extremely critical of the government hiding the Epstein files and hiding the truth. He's been extremely critical of ICE multiple times. He's against it. And like, do you think someone who's a path into the alt-right pipeline, do you think someone's gonna see these videos and be like, yeah, Charlie is a Nazi, Charlie is a right-winger? I believe Charlie has also been critical of some Asmongold stuff. Like, this is so stupid. If you ask me, do I think Charlie is part of the right? Do I think he's part of the alt-right pipeline? First of all, I will laugh at you if you told me that. Second of all, no, I truly do not think that Moist Critical is an alt-right pipeline guy. And you go from critical to loving Sneeko to loving Nazis and to killing immigrants in the face. I don't think that's a realistic take. I think Idubbbz says this for two reasons. Number one, I don't know if you guys remember, but a few years ago, Charlie made a video criticizing Idubbbz for his very shitty apology, and Idubbbz got mad and got salty and cried about it. Because long story short, I'm not here to waste your time, because Critical said, yeah, this was unnecessary. This was a whole bunch of nothing. This is pathetic. And Idubbbz didn't like that. He went to Twitter and cried and went back to the cut chair. I think he's still salty over that. On top of that, I think Idubbbz is jealous of how both of their careers went. Charlie is still on top. I'll say bigger than ever. Meanwhile, Idubbbz has just been going on a crazy decline, and he hasn't been able to stop it because he's pushed people away. There are multiple ways to go about certain things, and Idubbbz went about it in the worst way possible. Do I think Idubbbz in 2016 was a insane MAGA lover, Nazi right-winger? Do I think OG Idubbbz was that? No, I don't think so. And truth be told, I think he gives himself way too much credit for being edgy. You were not the only one who was dropping slurs back in the day. All right. I don't know. This is pretty stupid. The top comment says, spoken like a man who was known for saying slurs, and the worst kind of slurs too. Can't even mention them without getting permabanned on Reddit. Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. I genuinely don't even think he believes this. I think he's still salty because Charlie thought his apology tour was silly. That dude holds grudges like no other. Yeah, I mean, this just reinforces what I was saying. Charlie just had a couple big videos about ICE, very right-wing pipeline of him. You can't be saying that. You cannot actually believe that Charlie is pushing people to the right just because he doesn't explicitly say, hey, if you're from the right, yourself and unsubscribe from my channel. Essentially, that's what Idubbbz wants Charlie to do. And it's like, well, who the fuck does Idubbbz think he is to be telling people how to run their careers, their brand, or their channel? Once again, I'm sure Charlie has lost a few subscribers for being anti-Trump, for being anti-MAGA, for being anti-government, and for being anti-ICE. I'm sure that has made him lose some subscribers, and you know, and it's like Ye said, every now and then, I like to trim the bushes. You know what I mean? I like to trim it down, which essentially means, yeah, I don't care if you unsubscribe from my channel. I wanted to get rid of people and, you know, cleanse the channel, if you will. My whole thing with Idubbbz is I am 1000% sure brother has a concussion, but wait, there's a little more, guys.
It's part of the pipeline, though. It's the same reason people wouldn't say Charlie, Moist Critical, is right wing or like as ideologically fuck out there as like a Nick Fuentes or even Asmongold, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
He holds some space for the people in his audience who might have some differing opinions. He doesn't make it clear, like, I don't want you in my fucking community, like outright. And you know, I get it. I get the hustle. I did it for a while, but it is a little bit of cope. And I understand why people don't want to take the path that I took, because it breeds a lot of hate.
Yeah, right. How do you I guess, how do you like weather that storm? Does it affect you? Do you think about it at all? I feel like at this point in your career, like,
hey man, yeah, I'm weathering it. I'm weathering it. It's it's one of these things where you just kind of got to put your head down and like get to work. Like, you know, there may have been a time where in my life where I could spend time reading comment sections and being like, oh yeah, like I'm getting some sort of validation from this. I'm way past that at this point. Like I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do if I spend any amount of time reading shit online.
Oh, dude.
With the exception of maybe my live chat when I'm streaming.
I mean, I don't want to sound like the technically guys, but it's like, dude, you've made like 2 or 3 videos in a row about haters, and then you're like, oh, yeah, guys, I don't watch the haters. I don't even read the comments. Yet they do, and by them I mean Anissa Jamha and Idubbbz Jamha. There was a video that I made a few months ago, I don't really remember, where Idubbbz was live streaming and a whole bunch of hate videos show up on screen and it shows as watched or recommended, and it's like, you know, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. If you watch this, which is I guess an Idubbbz hate video, you're gonna get this, and that. I guarantee you that Anissa and Idubbbz, every now and then, they save the videos of them haters, the insane right-wingers. They save it, then they open the YouTube app on their big TV and they're like, yeah, time to watch some hate comments, guys. Yep, time to see some hate videos. And anyone that hates us, they hate women, they're an incel, and they're losers. That's legitimately what they say. Now granted, some Idubbbz fans, do I truly think Idubbbz is unbothered by the hate? No. If he was truly unbothered by the hate, he would be uploading consistently. And this person has a nice little conspiracy theory. I actually think he's taking shots at Charlie with the hopes of him making a video on him, because no publicity is bad publicity. He wants a huge attention boost, and that's the way to do it. I don't know how I feel about that theory. I don't believe it. I don't subscribe to it. I mean, what would this accomplish? And I don't think Charlie would make a video on him. At that point, it's like beating up a dead horse. It's like punching someone with no arms or legs. Why would he do that? Humiliate him in front of 2 million people? Like, if Idubbbz can barely handle all the criticism he's getting now, imagine if someone like Charlie dropped a video on him. I'll be like dropping a nuke on his fucking head. Cuckboy is still upset that Moist called out his master Hassan for animal abuse. Charlie has recently made videos bashing ICE, bashing Elon, and bashing Trump. And the Epstein files, of course. But yeah, he's part of the alt-right pipeline. Go make fun of your Iranian man's accent and experience again. Swastika sore boy. They pretty much beat me to it. I mean, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. That's what I was thinking. Like, when I think of someone being alt-right, I don't think of them hating on ICE and hating on Trump. Like, I don't know. Or maybe that's a new era of the right-wingers. But as far as I know, that's not what's going on. It's so funny when people like Idubbbz call other people, and I'll include myself in this situation. Now, I'm not as big as Charlie, but people like Charlie, people throwing myself in there very humbly. I guess people like us, and I guess other commentary channels, Redditors and Twitter users think we are, you know, Nazis and right-wing propagandists and, you know, Trump 2048 and, you know, all of this other crazy stuff because they hear us say something edgy, or we're saying edgy jokes, or we're maybe pushing it a little bit. And just speaking for me personally, there's been so many times when someone's like, yeah, that sensitive society guy, that right-winger guy, and it's like, well, that just shows me that you don't know what you're talking about and you're just a fucking retard. If you go through my channel, you would see that I've been pretty anti-Elon. I mean, the amount of times that I've called Elon Musk a retard, I mean, low-key gotta be studied. Like, there's been quite a few times where I've been critical of, you know, the government hiding stuff and, you know, healthcare and stuff like that. And there's videos that I've done criticizing cringy MAGA rappers such as Tom McDonald, and which I'm sure has cost me subscribers. But like I said a few videos ago, at this point, I don't care. I'm not here to please anyone. If people enjoy the content, great. You're more than welcome to hang out, join the community, subscribe. Well, and if you don't, well, I appreciate it when you were here. But like Ye said, it's nice to trim the bushes every now and then. And it's like, well, honestly, at this point, I don't care. But getting back on track, it's just dumb, ignorant people that see YouTubers being a little edgy. Yeah, I don't know, this guy's low-key kind of a Nazi. I don't know, guys. It's like, okay, buddy, whatever. But then on one of the funniest moments, by accident, by the way, this guy right here essentially calls Idubbbz irrelevant. And as you guys can see from this frame, it's pretty funny.
I've never reached the points that you did of like having huge amounts of viewers, but certainly like on TikTok, there were times where I was like really, really popping off, and there'd be weeks where I was getting like 20 million views and stuff. Sorry, like maybe a month. I don't know if it was weeks, but a month. Sorry, where I'd be doing like 20 million views. I'd get nowhere near that now. But I realized as well, one of the things is once you have your first couple of videos that go big, all of the satisfaction from having obscene amounts of viewers goes away. Like, you just kind of hope to maintain it, but that's kind of it. Once, if it goes, it's gone. Like, it's gone, and you can either try and build it up and change again. Like, how do you feel about, like, not, once, like, dominating YouTube to, like, what you do now? How does that kind of, like, what do you feel about that? And I'm sorry if that sounds like an insensitive question. I'm just wondering.
It's not.
Yeah, how does it feel to be extremely irrelevant in the big 2026? Oh yeah, Idubbbz, can you please explain to us how it feels to fall off? And how does it feel to not be relevant for over 10 years? That is so funny and so sad. It's exactly how it sounded. I mean, and the thing is, after everything went down, Idubbbz could have recovered like 2 to 3, 4 years ago. But I think right now, in the big 26, I think it's beyond over for him. I don't think he could ever come back nor reach his peak again. I think the damage has been done. And once again, Idubbbz could have been really successful and be making crazy money had he kept the content cops, had he kept bad unboxing and all of that other fun stuff. And it could have worked, and he didn't need to be edgy or say the N-word 25 times in the video. But the thing is, he has no personality. There's nothing to latch onto. Yeah, man. I saw this. I'm like, ain't no way I have to talk about it. But anyways, guys, what do you guys think of the situation? Do you agree with the Jamhas? Do you think that Charlie is an alt-right pipeline type of guy? Whatever you guys think, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, subscribe to the channel, or I will make you fall into the right-wing pipeline, and I'll be the leader of that. So you better subscribe and drop a like. Anyways, with that said, I'm out. Peace.